Let's bring in Chris Gober. He is the founder of the Gober Group, an analysis of public policy. He's coming to us from Austin, Texas. Here's my problem with the borrowing of the $1 trillion in 1 year. No one cares. Media doesn't care. Media doesn't report it. Nobody knows about it. Then when you tell them about it, their eyes glaze over like, okay, so we got 21 trillion debt, so we have 22. How does it affect me? It doesn't. Is there anything you can tell my audience to make them pay attention to this?
Well, I think, absolutely people have a tendency to put their heads in the sand when it comes to government spending. And, maybe we have to analogize it to instances of personal finance that, people may understand a little bit better. But, I kind of think it's like a real estate agent that makes $50,000 a year, but has $250,000 in credit card debt. They go sell a house, make a $10,000 commission, and convince themselves to go lease a new Maserati. That's exactly what the United States government is doing.
But it's doing it with the tacit acceptance of the American people.
Yeah,
There's not an issue. It's not a media thing. Nobody's going, oh, another $1 trillion we're borrowing. Nobody cares because they don't think it affects them directly, Chris.
Right. We have it's kind of delayed, damage that this causes to the economy. Everybody pays attention when we're, in 2009 to 2012, where we're in the Great Recession, and a lot of people are struggling. But what's come clear is, we're really past the best of times in that recovery since the Great Recession, and we've done nothing to fix the balance sheet of the U.S. economy. And it's really only going to come with more and more pain and a downturn in the market for somebody, for the American people to pay attention to this.
So what's the pain going to be specifically, and when will the pain arrive?
Well, if you think about it, I think it's important for everybody to really understand kind of how our federal budget is made up, because I think that's really how you get down to kind of the future pain points. You got to understand that, 62% of our spending, it's mandatory. It's really not on the table. Our politicians never discuss it. That's our Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. We have about 30% of our budget that is discretionary. Anytime we talk about the need to cut the budget, this is kind of the category they're talking about. The problem is about half of that spending is for our military, and about 8% of our budget is for interest payments. And the problem is we add more and more debt. I mean, at the clip of 89% increase, year to year, our interest payments go up. Think about that credit card debt you have as an individual and how it snowballs. We're dealing with the same thing with the American government, where as a percentage of our budget, we have increased mandatory spending. We're going to have massively increased interest spending. It's the fastest growing aspect of our budget. And there's going to be very little from that discretionary budget we can
All right, so when will the stock market crash and the currency crash and we go into a depression because of all of this insane spending? When is that going to happen?
I don't think if I could predict that.
Do you think it will happen?
Island I own, but what we do know, we don't know when it's going to happen, but eventually, like all things, this type of out of control spending catches up to economies. And what scares me is not just what's going to happen with a potential other recession, but also looking at this really as the impact worldwide. Right now, there's about $66 trillion in government debt. The United States has over 1/3 of that.
Yeah, a third of it,
that
right.
Is very concerning when we're dealing with China.
But you don't know when, like 10 years or 20 years, you have no clue when it's going to come in.
We don't know how when it's really going to crash. A lot of people, you look at 2009, 2010, and we were able to survive that and recover. But the bottom line is we didn't fix what we needed to fix.
No, it's not fixed. I'm trying to get for everybody in my audience an idea. I know it's serious. but nobody knows whether this will be stretched out for another 25 years or 2 years, and that's the killer. Hey, Chris, we appreciate it very much. Thanks very much. I don't want to scare everybody. I'm not trying to do that, but nobody else is going to cover this for you. And I got to tell you the truth about your country, and your country's spending so wildly now. And if the Democrats get elected, if the progressives get in, they're going to triple the spending. All right, and then they're going to start to seize assets like Elizabeth Warren wants to do. It's not going to be taxes, it's going to be taking your stuff. That's what they're going to try to do. It's unconstitutional, but you're going to see it. Okay.